Hey everyone, today's reading is found in Job chapter 31. And you may be familiar with the story of Job. You know that he was afflicted with many trials. He lost his children, he lost his livestock, and eventually he was inflicted with terrible physical pain. And in chapter 31, Job makes a final appeal to the Lord. He doesn't understand what he may have done that caused this. And he talks about in chapter 31 how he's tried to do the right thing. How he's given to people who've needed help from him. He's given money to them. He's tried to stand up for the right stuff, for justice. And you know, in Job chapter 31, in the very first verse of this chapter, he said something that just I haven't seen before, and it just stood out to me. In verse 1, chapter 31, Job says this. He says, "I have made a covenant with my eyes. How then could I gaze at a virgin?" See, when I think of a covenant, I think of a covenant like God has made to us. Or a covenant like earlier in Genesis where he makes a covenant with Noah. Or he makes a covenant with Abraham. Like it's something that is like a promise. And Job says here that he has made a promise with his eyes. Job is a man who walked righteously, and he didn't fear what the world would think of him. Instead, he said, "I fear and respect God. I fear and respect the Lord Almighty." And just think about it. I mean, it just stood out to me so much. It's like, whoa, this guy is so committed to doing what is right that he has made a covenant with his eyes. He is not going to lust after someone else. He is not going to look upon something that he shouldn't. Oh my goodness. I want to do that. I want to make a promise with my eyes that says I'm not gonna look at things that I'm not supposed to look at. And I'm not doing this for any other reason other than I fear and love my God. So this passage just stood out to me, and if you haven't yet, can I encourage you, as I am doing, to make a covenant with your eyes. Say, I'm not looking at what I'm not supposed to anymore. I'm focused instead on what God has called me to do, and I fear him. I have a reverent awe for his word and his commands, and I trust in his promises. So this passage encouraged me, and I hope that these videos continue to encourage you to dive into scripture yourself and ask God, what do you have for me today? What do you want to say to me today?